the most embarrassing thing that happened to your ex after you walked away from them? Story 1. My ex used to act like he was God's gift to women. Tall, cocky, and always bragging about how he could get with any girl in the room. We broke up after I got tired of him openly flirting with other women, even once at my cousin's wedding. A month after we split, he started dating a girl who was even more of a narcissist than him. She convinced him to quit his job and become a full-time Instagram couple so they could travel and influence. They took a trip to Tulum and staged a whole fake engagement for content. He posted a cringy reel with the caption, "She said yes," and everything. The comments blew up with congratulations, until her real boyfriend found it. Turns out she was using my ex to make her actual man jealous. She ghosted my ex mid-trip, left him with the hotel bill, and he had to start a GoFundMe to get back home. I didn't donate, but I did send it to a few of our mutual friends. Story 2. My ex dumped me because he said I didn't fit his future. He wanted someone with more class, better fashion sense, and someone who could carry herself in high society, whatever that meant. Fast forward 6 months, and I hear he got engaged to a girl who was very Instagram influencer meets reality show contestant. She was pretty sure, but every photo looked like she was auditioning for The Real Housewives of Cincinnati. Anyway, the embarrassing part? Their engagement party was at a fancy country club. Right in the middle of his speech about finding his soulmate, she got so drunk she threw up in the champagne fountain, like violently, in front of his family. His grandma, a waiter, slipped in it. She tried to play it off, but the video went viral because someone live-streamed. The title? Champagne Wishes and Vomit Dreams. Story 3. My ex cheated on me with a girl from his work. Classic story. I walked away without a word, blocked him everywhere, and moved on. A year later, I was at a wedding for a mutual friend. Guess who was there? Yep, with the girl he cheated on me with. They were arguing at the reception, whisper yelling at each other by the bar. Suddenly, she stormed off and came back holding a mic. She walked up to the DJ and interrupted the music to announce that she had just found out my ex was also cheating on with someone else from their office. She ended her little speech by tossing a drink in his face and yelling, "Guess cheaters don't change, huh, Kyle?" Then she walked out in heels like she rehearsed it. The room clapped. I sipped my wine and enjoyed the show. Story 4. My ex was obsessed with TikTok. Like, check my drafts level obsessed. He once told me I needed to be more on-brand for his content, whatever that meant. After we broke up, I muted him everywhere, but a friend sent me a clip months later. Apparently, he joined one of those TikTok couples houses, where a bunch of people live together and try to go viral. In one of the videos, he tried to do a dance challenge on the edge of a pool, slipped, and fell in, onto another guy, who broke his arm. Not only did the video get taken down due to the injury, but the pool owner kicked him out of the house and sued him for damages. The kicker? He went live crying about it, saying, "No one supports real creators any." Comments were brutal. Story 5. We were together for almost 2 years, and he always acted like he was above everything. Would correct my grammar mid-argument. Acted like watching reality shows was lowbrow. He broke up with me over email. An actual email. Said we were evolving in different intellectual directions. Anyway, about a year later, I get a text from an unknown number. It's a screenshot of my ex doing a full-on karaoke performance of WAP at a company holiday party, dressed as Santa. From the look of it, he was very drunk. It wouldn't have been that bad, but apparently his company posted it to their public Instagram thinking it was private. Clients saw it. He got demoted. I was told he tried to claim he was doing a satirical gender commentary, but no one bought it. Karma's got rhythm. Story 6. I was with this guy who always thought he was too smart for everyone. He was the kind of person who'd say things like, "I don't believe in emotions, they're distractions," and genuinely thought he was going to be the next Elon Musk. I broke up with him after he tried to pitch me an investment opportunity that was basically him trying to start a cryptocurrency based on, wait for it, plants, like actual trees. A few months later, he posted a YouTube video of his business launch, held at his parents' backyard with a cheap banner that said, "Leaf Coin." It was painfully awkward. No guests showed up except his neighbor's 12-year-old son, and even he looked unimpressed. During the live Q&A, someone asked, "Is this a joke?" He confidently said no. Then his laptop crashed mid-sentence. The stream cut out, and he never posted about LeafCoin again. Story 7. My ex dumped me out of nowhere. Just said he wasn't feeling it anymore after 3 years together. Cool. Whatever. I moved on, started dating someone new a few months later. One day, I get a call from an unknown number. It's his mom. She's crying and apologizing to me for what her son did. Turns out after we broke up, he got into some shady business flipping concert tickets. He bought a ton of fake VIP passes to a music festival and tried selling them on Facebook Marketplace. Well, someone caught wind, tracked him down, and exposed him at the actual venue. Security dragged him out while he screamed, "I'm an entrepreneur," in front of hundreds of people. His face ended up on local news with the headline, "Scalper Bro Busted at Bass Fest." His mom begged me to call and talk sense into him. I politely declined. Story 8. My ex and I met in college. We had a pretty intense thing until he cheated on me with someone from his art history class. I walked away, completely cut ties. About 2 years later, I ran into him at a mutual friends gallery opening. He acted smug, like he wanted me to know he was doing amazing. He said he was still painting and had some serious interest from art investors. Mid-conversation, a woman walked up and threw a glass of red wine on him. Turns out he'd copied one of her paintings, literally painted over a printout of her work and tried to pass it off as his own. She caught him when she saw a corner of her signature peeking through on a social media post. Everyone watched as he tried to wipe it off with a napkin while security escorted him out. Haven't seen him at a gallery since. Story 9. I used to date a guy who was obsessed with being a public speaker. He had zero experience and terrible anxiety, but he read a Tony Robbins book and suddenly thought he was born to motivate others. After I ended things, partly because he kept practicing speeches in the mirror at 2 a.m., he tried launching a motivational seminar called Grindspire 2.0. It was held in a rented community center. 8 people showed up, and 3 were his cousins. He started his speech by jumping onto the stage and immediately tore his pants from crotch to knee. He tried to keep going like it didn't happen, but no one was listening. Someone uploaded a clip of it to TikTok with the caption, "Motivated to leave." It went semi-viral, and people started using the phrase "grindspired" sarcastically when something failed. His dream was literally memed into oblivion. Story 10. I broke up with my ex because he was incredibly two-faced. Sweet around me, but secretly mean to my friends, rude to waitstaff, and a total keyboard warrior online. He once told me that internet arguments are how real men dominate. Yeah. About 6 months after we split, I saw a thread blowing up on Twitter, now X, about a guy who got completely wrecked during a live-streamed gaming tournament. Turns out my ex had finally joined this competitive esports team he'd been bragging about for years. During a high-stakes match, he rage-quit mid-game and started yelling at his teammates. What he didn't know was that his camera was still on. And he was wearing pajama pants with cartoon unicorns and had a big empty wine glass next to a framed photo of me. People latched onto it immediately. Memes exploded. One guy even started a "sad gamer boyfriend" account dedicated to screenshots of his outburst. I was mortified secondhand, but also kinda satisfied. Story 11. I dated a girl who thought she was way too cool for regular jobs. She was always quitting things because she believed she was meant for something bigger. When we broke up, she told me I'd regret not staying with her once she became famous. I moved on, but she kept popping up in my feed promoting her life coach business. Mind you, she was 24 and still living with her parents. Her big breakthrough was hosting a virtual women's empowerment retreat. She charged $300 per person and hyped it up for weeks. The event ended up being a total disaster. Her internet dropped during the keynote. Her Zoom mic didn't work, and someone hacked the call and started playing loud fart noises over her guided meditation. People started demanding refunds in the chat. She tried to power through it, yelling, "This is still sacred space," before finally rage-quitting the call. The worst part? Someone screen-recorded the whole thing and turned it into a parody trailer titled "Girl Boss Meltdown a Masterclass." It went mini-viral. I watched it with popcorn. Story 12. My ex always tried to act like he was cooler than everyone. If something was trendy, he hated it. If you liked a popular movie, he said it was mid. He loved being the contrarian. After we broke up, I learned he started dating this new girl who was really into conspiracy theories. Like flat earth and birds aren't real levels of nonsense. At some point, they decided to start a podcast called Truth Untamed. They recorded in his bedroom with a lava lamp in the background and spent an hour an episode ranting about fluoride and how celebrities are part of the lizard. For some reason, they decided to interview a guest live on Instagram, a guy who turned out to be a prankster. Mid-live stream, the guy starts trolling them, asking things like, "Is mayonnaise a government spy tool?" My ex got so mad, he accidentally knocked over his mic and broke it live. Then the girl started crying because she felt disrespected by the vibration of the joke. That was their final episode. Someone edited a 10-minute supercut of the stream called The Dumb Awakening. Still cracks me up. Story 13. My ex was a fitness freak. Like 6 meals a day, protein shake in each hand type of guy. He constantly criticized what I ate. Even said once, ice cream is emotional weakness and dairy. We broke up after I got tired of him treating my dinner plate like it was a moral failing. A while later, he entered this amateur bodybuilding competition and made a huge deal out of it on social media, like countdowns, gym selfies, even custom merch. The day of the event, he walked on stage oiled up and tanned, wearing a tiny pair of trunks, and then he sneezed. Loudly. That might have been fine, except the sneeze caused him to fart. Like, cartoonishly loud. Into the mic. On stage. The judges tried to hold it together, but the audience lost it. It ended up on a fails compilation on YouTube titled, "Muscles Can't Save You." The comments were brutal. He tried to say it was a natural body function, but it didn't matter. He hasn't posted a gym pic since. Story 14. I used to date this guy who was super into online poker. He always thought he was one big game away from quitting his job and going full-time pro. He would make spreadsheets and brag about his win rate, even though he lost more often than not. After we broke up, I heard through the grapevine that he finally entered a big online tournament. It was streamed on Twitch with commentary and everything. He actually made it to the final table. His screen name was King of Cards 89, and he was playing pretty well. But then, right when he had a monster hand and went all in, his webcam glitched and froze. Nothing too embarrassing, until his mic picked up him yelling, "Mom, I need more pizza rolls." The chat exploded. Thousands of viewers. The clip went viral in the poker community. He didn't win, by the way. He got bluffed out by someone named Queen Beats and rage quit the stream. That soundbite? It's now a meme reaction in Twitch chats. Pizza rolls, bro. Story 15. My ex was always obsessed with being the smartest guy in the room. He'd correct strangers, talk over people, and once gave a 10-minute speech at a party about how he could have solved the GameStop stock thing better than Reddit did. Naturally, after we broke up, he applied to be on Jeopardy! I'm not kidding. He made it through auditions and actually got on the show. I didn't find out until I saw his name trending on Twitter. Not because he won, but because of how bad he lost. He buzzed in early on nearly every question and answered them wrong. His final score was minus $3,400. They had to cut him before Final Jeopardy! The clip where he confidently said the capital of Canada was Toronto now lives online forever. The worst part? He wore a bow tie and said, "Let's get quizzical" during his intro. Twitter had a field day. Story 16. My ex was the guy who always made networking his whole personality. He talked in buzzwords, used phrases like circling back in real life, and handed out business cards at birthday parties. We broke up when he skipped my sister's engagement dinner to attend a very exclusive business mixer that turned out to be a pyramid scheme info session. A year later, I heard he tried pitching a startup at a local entrepreneur pitch event. His big idea? A subscription box for motivational socks with daily affirmations on the soles. I wish I were joking. During his presentation, he wore a pair of his own prototype socks and tried to do a dramatic reveal by putting his feet on the table. Problem was, he forgot to check them before one said, "Be bold," and the other said, "Stay humble." But they were both misspelled. The audience laughed. He tried to recover by saying it was a statement on imperfection, but the judges didn't buy it. He didn't get a single investor. Someone even posted a TikTok with the caption, "Sock bottoms, rock bottom." Story 17. My ex was all about being mysterious. He'd never post on social media, barely spoke about his past, and once told me he was a man with many secrets. Turns out the only secret he had was that he was deeply insecure. He dumped me because I knew too much, whatever that meant. Anyway, months later, I heard he joined a local theater group to channel his energy. I figured it was just a phase until I got a message from a friend. He had been cast as the lead in Romeo and Juliet. Romeo, in his 30s, opposite an 18-year-old Juliet. At the second night of the show, he tried to improvise a sword fight move, tripped, and fell off the stage. Broke his wrist in front of a packed high school auditorium. But it gets better. He cried during curtain call because he wasn't clapped for enough. The cast made him a Most Dramatic Exit award. I saw the photo. He was holding it with his cast. Story 18. My ex always tried to be a prankster. He loved recording funny videos of himself scaring people, flipping bottles, or pretending to faint in public. Most of the time it was just awkward and mean-spirited. He once poured ketchup on my white blouse for a prank and thought I was being too emotional for getting upset. After we broke up, he tried going viral with a YouTube stunt. He faked a proposal in the middle of a crowded mall, got down on one knee with a ring box, and pulled a random woman from the crowd pretending she was his girlfriend. The woman didn't know him. She panicked, slapped the box out of his hand, and security got involved. The whole thing was filmed by his friend. who then accidentally uploaded it to his own personal Facebook account instead of the prank channel. It got shared around the local community groups with the title, "Creep Tries to Prank a Stranger into Marriage." His channel is now inactive. No proposals, no views. Story 19. My ex was a wedding photographer, super talented but extremely arrogant. He constantly talked about how no one could capture a moment the way he could. He'd even critique other people's wedding albums unprovoked. I broke things off when he started referring to himself as a visual poet of love. I wish I was exaggerating. About a year after we split, I heard from someone in the industry that he'd accidentally overwritten an entire wedding shoot because he didn't back up the files. A whole 12-hour event, gone. The couple was devastated. He tried to recover by offering a styled reshoot and asked them to wear their wedding outfits again and pretend it was their real day. They refused, and then they sued. Word spread, and vendors stopped referring him. A Reddit post about it even went viral in a wedding planning group. The top comment was, "Guess his love story needed better storage." Story 20. My ex was a huge animal lover. Not in a cute way, like in a brings home random creatures kind of way. Once he tried to adopt a raccoon. I stayed for a while because his heart was in the right place, but it got too chaotic. When I left, he told me I didn't understand his calling. Fast forward, and I find out he'd applied for a job at a local exotic animal sanctuary. Somehow he got in, but only as a janitor. During his second week, he tried to impress the staff by connecting with the animals on a spiritual level. He hopped into the enclosure of an emu to establish trust. It kicked him in the chest. He had to go to urgent care with bruised ribs and, ironically, a tetanus shot. The sanctuary let him go, citing unauthorized bonding attempts. A screenshot of the incident report made it onto Twitter with the headline, "Man tries to be bird whisperer, bird says no." Story 21. My ex was the ultimate clout chaser. The guy couldn't go 5 minutes without mentioning how many followers he had, even though it was mostly bots and high school acquaintances. When we were dating, he would randomly take videos of himself pretending to help strangers for content. Total, do it for the gram energy. After I dumped him for trying to stage a fake fight in a grocery store for TikTok, he went full influencer mode. The moment that broke him, he faked getting stranded on the side of the highway to make a dramatic post about perseverance. He filmed himself in front of a broken-down car. That didn't belong to him. The actual owner came out during the shoot and started yelling at him for trespassing on private property. Turns out, the car wasn't even broken. It was parked outside a mechanic shop. Someone recorded the whole confrontation. The video of him getting caught faking the video went way more viral than anything he had ever posted. The irony? He ended up trending, just not for the reason he wanted. Story 22. My ex was obsessed with trivia nights. He treated pub quizzes like Olympic trials. He'd trash-talk the other teams, memorize obscure facts, and even wear a custom t-shirt with his team name. The fact attack. He dumped me after I accidentally cost us 3 points for guessing Beyoncé instead of Mariah Carey on a music question. He said I disrespected the sanctity of competition. Fast forward 8 months, and he finally made it onto a regional TV trivia show. He hyped it up for weeks, inviting everyone he knew to watch the premiere. The question that wrecked him? Which planet is closest to the sun? He panicked and blurted out, Saturn. He didn't just lose. He ended the game with negative points. His expression was like someone just told him Wikipedia got deleted. I heard through friends that he blamed stage lighting for confusing his memory. No one believed him, especially the guy who tattooed the actual answer, Mercury, on his forearm later as a joke. Story 23. My ex believed she was destined for reality TV fame. She used to record fake confessionals in our bathroom mirror and submit audition tapes to every show imaginable. The Bachelor, Survivor, even Nailed It. She couldn't bake to save her life. She once said, "Normal people are just failed main characters." A few months post-breakup, she actually got cast on a dating reality show that aired locally. The concept was speed dating in a cabin for 48 hours straight. It aired late at night on some niche cable channel, but still, she was thrilled. In the very first episode, she got into an argument with one of the guys about horoscopes. She screamed, "Your aura is aggressive, and my third eye is burning," before storming out, tripping over a camera cable and knocking over a decorative log pile. They kept the footage. They aired it twice. She got eliminated in the first round. Her only quote that circulated afterward was, "This whole cabin is spiritually toxic," still quoted in local memes. Story 24. My ex was a part-time magician. Like, actual street magician. He was passionate and practiced constantly, but he wasn't exactly good. He once made a coin disappear by accidentally dropping it behind the couch. I supported him for a while, but it got exhausting when he started using magic metaphors during arguments. After we split, he booked a gig for a kid's birthday party. It was supposed to be his comeback performance, and he invited everyone he knew to see it. Mid-show, he tried to pull a rabbit out of a hat. Not only was there no rabbit, but he had forgotten to line the hat, so when he reached inside, he sliced his finger on a hidden pin he'd rigged for another trick. He bled onto the birthday cake. Kids screamed. One cried. The mom tried to calm everyone down while my ex insisted it was part of the illusion. He ended the show early and limped out with a Hello Kitty bandage on his thumb. A week later, the mom posted a scathing review on Facebook titled, "The real magic was how fast the party ended." Story 25. My ex was a massive car guy. You know the type, revving his engine at stoplights, washing his car twice a day, and constantly posting slow-mo videos of him turning corners. I didn't mind at first until I realized he treated his car better than me. He literally canceled our anniversary dinner once because he needed to wax the rims. Anyway, after I left, he saved up for a custom wrap for his car. Some ridiculous neon green camo pattern with his initials and Instagram handle across the back. He made a huge deal about it. Even hosted a reveal party in a parking garage. As he pulled in with music blasting and smoke effects, his front bumper caught on a parking block and tore halfway off. The entire front end peeled like a banana. People tried to pretend they didn't see, but someone was filming for a vlog. The video got reposted on a car fail page with the title, "When Flexing Goes Wrong." His handle? Changed 2 days later. His pride? Still MIA. Story 26. My ex was always convinced he was going to be a viral rapper. The problem? He had zero rhythm, even less talent, and wrote lyrics like a teenager trying too hard. He made me sit through hours of him freestyling about grinding in the shadows and haters in the comments. When I finally broke up with him, after he rhymed respect with connect 4, he told me I had no vision. 3 months later, he booked a slot at an underground rap open mic. I didn't go, but someone who did sent me the video. He got up there, played a beat off his phone, and started performing a track called Breakup Bars. Halfway through, his phone disconnected from the speaker, and the beat stopped, but he kept rapping. Off beat, off tempo, off everything. Someone booed. He tried to battle the heckler mid-performance. The DJ pulled the plug and said, "Bro, this ain't 8 Mile. It's Tuesday night." The video lives on Reddit, under the thread, Cringe Cypher of the Year. Story 27. My ex always fancied himself a survivalist. He watched every episode of Naked and Afraid and believed he could live off the land if society ever collapsed. He even started stockpiling gear and made me go camping with him as training. I left after he tried to convince me eating ants was empowering. 6 months later, he signed up for a wilderness survival weekend retreat, like a boot camp for wannabe Bear Grylls. Day 1, he wandered off from the group to hunt his own food with a homemade spear. They found him hours later, shivering under a tree with a twisted ankle and a backpack full of mushrooms that turned out to be extremely poisonous. He had to be airlifted out, and the local news covered the story under "Man Hospitalized After Spiritual Nature Trek." The best part? He left a Yelp review, blaming the forest for being unforgiving. Story 28. My ex was a self-proclaimed master of seduction. He was one of those guys who read pickup artist books and thought negging was romantic. He wore sunglasses indoors, and once told me I was lucky he chose me. Yeah, I left fast. Apparently, after me, he decided to teach a dating mastery class for men at a small community center. He made flyers with phrases like, "Unleash your inner alpha," and tried to charge $75 per seat. Only 2 guys showed up, one of whom was just there to get out of the rain. During his live demo, where he tried to flirt with a volunteer, he chose a woman walking by outside, who turned out to be a police officer in uniform. She thought he was harassing her and gave him a very stern talking to. The incident was caught on the building's security camera. That clip now circulates on Cringe Coach's TikTok with the caption, "Alpha gets baited by law." Story 29. My ex used to be obsessed with horoscopes, like deeply obsessed. She wouldn't go out if Mercury was in retrograde, blamed our arguments on rising sign conflict, and made every decision based on full moon energy. I went along with it for a while, but she eventually broke up with me because a tarot reading said, "Someone close is dimming your light." Cool. A year later, she opened a spiritual retreat center in the desert. She posted all over social media about the Sacred Awakening event she was hosting with crystals, sound baths, and planetary rebirth yoga. The embarrassing part? A dust storm hit halfway through the first day and blew over everything. tents, instruments, even the giant zodiac wheel she handmade. She went live on Instagram crying about how the universe betrayed her. Commenters were ruthless. Someone even said, "Looks like Mercury's got hands." The retreat never happened again. Story 30. My ex was a big-time foodie. He wasn't a chef, but acted like Gordon Ramsay's long-lost twin. He'd critique restaurant meals like he was being paid, and once sent back a latte because it lacked personality. When I left, he told me I'd never taste excellence again. Later, he decided to host his own supper club from his apartment. It was supposed to be invite-only and Michelin-inspired, but word got out. A local food blogger showed up to review it anonymously. Apparently, the first course was a spoon of deconstructed gazpacho, just cold tomato juice with a crouton. The main course? Burnt quinoa with a sprig of parsley. The blogger destroyed him. The review was titled, "Ego served hot, food served questionable. The final blow?" The photo attached showed his smoke alarm going off while he waved a dish towel, looking panicked in an apron that said, "Chef Daddy." Story 31. My ex thought he was a tech genius. Not in a coding whiz way, but in a reads headlines and thinks he invented Bitcoin kind of way. After we split, because he tried to NFT a photo of my dog without asking, he doubled down on his tech entrepreneur persona. He launched a smart home startup. The product? A voice-activated shower timer shaped like a duck, called Quack Time. He claimed it would revolutionize water conservation. Problem? The prototype kept activating randomly when people said anything vaguely duck-related, including words like luck and truck. It once blasted a countdown alarm during a Zoom investor pitch, and he couldn't turn it off. To top it off, someone uploaded a review video of the duck yelling, "Time's up, wet one," during a test shower. The clip went viral with the title, "The Duck That Haunts Bathrooms." Investors backed out. His website quietly disappeared. Still the weirdest legacy a breakup ever left me. Story 32. My ex was in a medieval reenactment group. Nothing wrong with that, honestly. I even went to a few of his events, but he took it way too seriously. He'd speak in Old English at the grocery store, insisted I call him Lord Everett, and referred to his car as a mechanical stallion. I finally ended things after he tried to settle a real disagreement using a foam sword duel. Anyway, months later, his reenactment group got booked to perform at a community fair. It was supposed to be his shining moment. He was playing the role of the noble knight in a scripted jousting match. His big move? Riding in on horseback and vanquishing his rival in a choreographed duel. Well, the horse spooked at a food truck and bolted mid-entrance. He fell off into a lemonade stand and took the tent with him. The mic picked up someone yelling, "The Lord hath fallen." EMTs had to carry him away while he tried to keep character and mumble, "'Tis but a scratch." The video? Yeah, it's titled Yeet of Thrones. Story 33. My ex was a DJ. Well, he called himself a DJ. He mostly just hit play on Spotify at house parties and called it a set. I supported him at first, but he got unbearable when he started referring to our bedroom as the green room. After we broke up, he finally got a real gig at a local club. His big night. He hyped it on Instagram for weeks. Showed up wearing sunglasses indoors, posted, "Tonight's gonna change the game." What actually changed? The playlist didn't. He forgot to turn off shuffle, so halfway through the set, the Friends theme song came. People tried to go along with it for a few seconds until the mood just died. He tried to remix it live by dropping a beat over the clap track. Someone yelled, "What is this, Central Perk rave?" A bartender recorded it and posted it with the caption, "When DJing isn't your day, your week, your month, or even your year." He hasn't posted since. Story 34. My ex was obsessed with true crime. She listened to every podcast, watched every documentary, and read police blotters for fun. I didn't mind at first, until she started saying things like, "I could totally get away with murder if I wanted to." Red flags, right? After we broke up, she joined a true crime convention's amateur detective contest. It was a game where attendees tried to solve a fake murder mystery using planted clues. She went all in, like whiteboard diagrams, red string maps, even cornered the actor playing the victim's brother to interrogate him. Only, she got way too into it. She accused a real event volunteer of being in on the conspiracy, screamed that the clues were planted by corrupt forces, and got banned from the venue after throwing her prop notebook at a guy in a Sherlock costume. She posted about it later, claiming the event couldn't handle real investigative energy. Comments were savage. One said, "Plot twist, she was the drama all along." Story 35. My ex was a huge karaoke guy. Not the fun with friends type, the takes it seriously and practices in the mirror type. He had a go-to song, Bon Jovi's "Livin' on a Prayer," and made us late to events just so he could get the prime singing slot. After we broke up, he signed up for a karaoke contest at a beachside bar during spring break. The winner got $500. He brought props, a leather jacket, sunglasses, even backup dancers, his friends, poorly choreographed. Right as he launched into his song, a sudden wind gust from the beach knocked over a speaker, directly onto him. He wasn't hurt badly, but the mic hit him in the teeth and chipped one of his front ones. The DJ tried to help, but he waved him off and tried to keep singing, with a bloody smile and lisp. Crowd didn't know whether to cheer or call an ambulance. He didn't win, but someone in the crowd posted the video titled, "Bon Jovi, but it's a medical emergency." It has more views than any video he ever posted himself. Story 36. My ex considered himself a philosopher. He had a beard he literally stroked when talking and would quote Nietzsche in arguments about dishwashing. I left after he started insisting we meditate together silently for 45 minutes before having any serious talks. After the breakup, he joined a local urban enlightenment meetup where they held public readings of their original work. He volunteered to perform his spoken word piece titled, "Society, a Lie Made of Mirrors." The crowd was small but polite, until, during his dramatic climax, he accidentally knocked over the mic stand and shattered a decorative mirror behind him. He screamed, "It's all part of the illusion," but then slipped on the stage trying to pick up the mic. Someone yelled, "Even his balance is philosophical." The clip made it onto a fail compilation called Deep Thoughts, Deeper Falls. He hasn't done a reading since. Story 37. My ex had a weird obsession with fame. Not real talent, just being known. He tried acting, YouTube, modeling, even posted selfies outside casting agencies with captions like, "Big things loading." We broke up when he tried to use my grandfather's funeral as a backdrop for a moody, grief and style photo shoot. After we parted ways, he entered a local haunted house contest where contestants had to stay in a creepy mansion overnight for a prize. He filmed the whole thing like it was his reality TV debut. Midway through the night, he tried to fake a ghost sighting by tossing a lamp for dramatic effect, only for it to hit an old pipe and cause a small leak. The crew made him mop it up while still in his haunted exploration outfit, a trench coat and eyeliner. His footage was later used in the host's blooper reel with the title, "When Influencing Backfires Paranormal Ego Edition." He still claims the pipe was spirit energy reacting. Story 38. My ex used to say he was born to ride. The dude wasn't a biker, though. He had a Vespa, a blue one with flame decals. He wore a leather jacket and called himself Ryder at Starbucks. He once made us 45 minutes late to a family event because he needed to wipe down the beast. After we broke up, he tried joining a scooter crew in the city that organized rides and meetups. At their first group ride, he showed up blasting heavy metal from a speaker strapped to the Vespa and attempted to lead the pack. At a red light, he revved so hard he lost balance and tipped over. It was barely a fall, but dramatic enough to cause a domino effect and knock down 3 other scooters parked beside him. They kicked him out of the group. Someone uploaded his fall, set to slow-motion opera music, titled "Revenge of the Vespa." His leather jacket days are, reportedly, over. Story 39. My ex prided herself on being a master chef because she once went to a week-long cooking workshop. She was always criticizing my meals. Once told me my scrambled eggs lacked soul. I ended it after she ruined Thanksgiving by trying to reinvent stuffing with seaweed and passion fruit. Months later, she got invited to participate in a small cooking competition at a local food festival. She posted all over Instagram about her return to the culinary arena. She made a fusion dish involving pickled beets and candied jalapenos, served on pancakes. One of the judges took a bite, paused, and then said, "This tastes like confusion." The second judge actually spat it into a napkin. The moment made local news because the reaction was so dramatic. She later claimed they weren't ready for next-gen flavor. Twitter disagreed. Story 40. My ex always talked about becoming a motivational speaker. Never mind that he hadn't accomplished anything and still lived with his mom. He was convinced he had CEO energy. He used to record audio notes of himself saying things like, "If you're not winning, you're whining," and play them back for inspiration. After we broke up, he finally booked a small speaking engagement at a high school career day. His topic? Be your own boss. He walked on stage, tripped over a power cord, and accidentally unplugged his slideshow, which he had titled Manifest Destiny, the Business Remix. He tried to freestyle a speech instead, but blanked halfway through and started quoting Dwayne Johnson interviews from memory. A kid in the back whispered, "Is this guy for real?" right into a hot mic. A clip made it to Reddit under Career Day Chaos. My favorite comment? If failure was a TED Talk. Story 41. My ex was obsessed with conspiracy theories. Not the fun kind, like Bigfoot lives in Canada, but the dark, weird internet rabbit hole type. He believed every major event was staged, wore blue light glasses at night, and said COVID was engineered to sell hand sanitizer. After we broke up, he started a YouTube channel where he'd decode the lies of the system. His big break came when he tried to debunk the moon landing by renting a green screen and attempting to recreate it in his garage to prove how easy it was to fake. Only his version was hilariously bad. He wore a motorcycle helmet wrapped in foil and tripped over a fake crater made of tinfoil and couch cushions. The video somehow got picked up, not as proof of anything, but as comedy. He got roasted in the comments and even featured in a reaction video titled, "Flat Earther Tries to Recreate NASA, Fails at Standing." He now claims he meant for it to be satirical all along. Story 42. My ex was a competitive board game player. Like, he would bring his own dice to game nights and accuse people of casual energy if they weren't taking it seriously. He once refused to speak to me for 2 days because I didn't block properly in Catan. After we split, he got invited to a regional strategy tournament. This was his Olympics. He wore a hoodie with his gamer tag and even hired a friend to film a player intro montage. But during the final match of a complex game, he misunderstood a rule and made a move that essentially eliminated himself and gave the win to a 14-year-old girl named Board Queen 04. She was super polite about it, even offered to explain the rule, but he stormed out mid-game yelling, "The system's flawed." A video of his meltdown surfaced online with the caption, "Board Game King loses his crown to a teen. He hasn't entered another tournament since. Probably still blaming the dice." Story 43. My ex wanted to be an escape room designer. Yes, that's a real thing. He got super into puzzles and started designing his own rooms in our apartment, using string, candles, coded notes, even motion detectors. At first it was cute. Then he locked me in the bathroom for testing. After I left, he hosted a trial run of his homemade escape room in his garage and invited some friends over. He built it with cardboard walls, fake cobwebs, and puzzles he thought were genius. Unfortunately, one of the puzzles required crawling through a tunnel, which collapsed mid-crawl, trapping a guy for 15 minutes. Someone called the fire department thinking it was real. Firefighters showed up and had to cut the cardboard apart with box cutters. His neighbors watched the whole thing. The footage ended up on Facebook with the caption, "Local genius traps guests in box maze." No one has RSVP'd to his haunted escape yard since. Story 44. My ex fancied himself a poet, but not in the cool, tortured artist way. In the "I write deep things and post them on walls and cafes without permission" way. He carried a typewriter around and once told a Starbucks barista she had an aura of forgotten rain. She did not appreciate it. After we broke up, he applied to perform at a poetry slam in a local bookstore. The theme of the night was healing, but he took the mic and delivered a 5-minute piece clearly about me, titled, "The One Who Couldn't Understand My Flame." It was dramatic. There were finger snaps, midline sighs, even a candle he lit on stage for ambiance. But right in the middle of a line about my soul bleeding onto her indifference, the candle caught the corner of his scarf on fire. He panicked and tried to stomp it out while still reciting the poem. The audience thought it was part of the performance, until someone screamed. A fire extinguisher was used. He was banned from future events. His last poem posted online was titled, "Smoke and Metaphors." Story 45. My ex worked as a museum tour guide. He was passionate about history, too passionate. He'd constantly interrupt movies to point out historical inaccuracies, and once got kicked out of a Renaissance fair for correcting the joust rules mid-match. After we broke up, he took a job leading private tours at a small local museum. He liked to improvise his facts to make the tours more exciting. During one weekend, a group of elementary school kids came in, and he decided to tell them that one of the exhibits, a medieval helmet, was allegedly cursed and would whisper secrets at night. A kid burst into tears. 2 others refused to go near the display. A parent complained, and the school banned field trips to the museum. His boss gave him a final. He later posted a TikTok explaining his side of the story, using hashtags like #truthseeker and #historyhype. But all the comments were people making jokes like, "Bro thinks he's a national treasure. Last I heard, he's giving ghost tours now." Story 46. My ex thought he had a future as a fashion icon. He wasn't a designer, but he claimed to be a style visionary. His fits were experimental. Think fishnet shirts with ski goggles and velvet loafers. In July, I supported it until he started critiquing my outfits like we were on Project Runway. After I left, he got invited to do a local fashion show during an indie art crawl. He called it street royalty a statement on postmodern masculinity. He designed a look for himself made entirely of recycled materials, including bubble wrap pants and a top made from old CDs. During his walk down the makeshift runway, one of the CDs slipped off, slicing open the bubble wrap pants. They deflated, loudly. The whole room watched as he shuffled off stage in shredded plastic, still trying to pose. Someone snapped a pic of his final pose mid-deflation, and it became a meme in the local art scene. The caption? Pop culture, literally. Story 47. My ex was a hardcore gamer. Nothing wrong with that, except he treated everything like a competition. Cooking? Speedrun. Cleaning? Efficiency strat. Intimacy? Unlocking achievements. I left when he gifted me a headset for our anniversary and said, "Now we can grind together." After our breakup, he joined a competitive gaming team for an obscure rhythm game. They entered a tournament that was live-streamed to a pretty big audience. In the middle of the final round, he accidentally leaned back too far in his gaming chair and toppled over, still holding the controller. The stream caught the whole thing, including the clatter, his feet in the air, and him yelling, "I'm still in this." Spoiler, he wasn't. He lost the match. But the fall clip went viral under the name When Gaming Goes 4D. He now streams under a different name, but people still bring up the fall in his chat. Story 48. My ex had a dream of being a spoken word ASMR artist. Yeah, that's not a typo. He believed that whispering poetry into a mic while rustling leaves would be the future of mindful performance. When we were together, he'd practice by whispering compliments to plants. I couldn't take it seriously. Post-breakup, he launched a YouTube channel called Whisper Souls. He uploaded a video called Soothing Storm of Emotion, where he read a breakup poem next to a bubbling fish tank for ambiance. Mid-recording, one of the fish jumped out of the tank. You could hear the splash, followed by him gasping and whispering, "Oh no, Gerald?" The video was never taken down. It gained traction on TikTok after someone added dramatic music and rebranded it as When ASMR Breaks You and the Fish. I still get sent clips from it. Poor Gerald. Story 49. My ex was obsessed with motorcycles. He didn't own one, but he collected jackets and helmets for when the time was right. I left after he wore a helmet during a Zoom call with my parents and said he was manifesting the ride. A few months later, he finally rented a bike for a group road trip. He made a whole production about it, posted a photo of the keys with the caption, "Real ones ride free." During the trip, he took a curve too fast in a scenic area and ended up in a shallow ditch. He wasn't hurt, but the bike got stuck, and his friends had to dig it out while he directed like a movie scene. A tourist filmed the whole thing and uploaded it with the title, "Biker Alpha Gets Defeated by a Ditch." His attempt to make it cinematic completely backfired. He tried to own it by editing the footage himself with slow-mo and music, but somehow that made it worse. Now he sticks to scooters. Story 50. My ex wanted to be a magician, specifically one who performed at corporate parties. He once told me, "There's a gap in the market for PowerPoint and illusions." I left when he started practicing card tricks in job interviews. After we broke up, he booked a gig at a local HR conference. His act? Mind reading for team building. It was supposed to end with him guessing the name of someone's pet based on energy alone. He asked the VP of a company to think about their dog's name. He stood there dramatically, hand on temple, eyes closed. Then proudly announced, "Pickles." The VP stared and said, "I don't own a dog." He froze. The room was silent. Then someone coughed. The rest of the show was awkward sleight of hand tricks while people stared at their phones. A short clip of the failed guess ended up on LinkedIn with the caption, "When mind reading doesn't make the team." His site still says Corporate Magic Solutions, but the only reviews are about pickles. Story 51. My ex was a hardcore minimalist. I'm talking one spoon, one plate, no couch-level minimalist. He said furniture was a symptom of emotional clutter, and once told me blankets made people soft. I tried to vibe with it, but I drew the line when he replaced our dining table with 2 upside-down buckets and a plank. After we broke up, he started a blog called Life Less Messy and moved into a van to promote freedom through empty space. On Instagram, he posted a video tour of his van life setup. During the clip, he went to open his DIY composting toilet to explain how it worked, but he'd forgotten to secure it. It tipped over. It tipped over. He immediately ended the video, but not before his horrified expression was captured in perfect lighting. The freeze frame alone went viral on Reddit. Someone even turned it into a reaction meme titled, "When Minimalism Backfires." He deleted the blog a week later. Story 52. My ex was into medieval sword fighting. Not LARPing, actual combat with steel blades and padded armor. He called it knightly athleticism and insisted on being called Sir Rowan during matches. I finally broke up with him after he missed my birthday dinner to attend a chivalric dueling seminar. After we parted ways, he entered a national historical combat tournament. It was being streamed online for the first time. During his match, he attempted an over-the-head spinning attack that he probably practiced in front of a mirror, but misjudged his footwork and fell backward into the camera rig. He took down the whole livestream setup with him. Broadcast cut to black. The clip was later uploaded with the caption, "Sir Tripalot takes down Twit." He still spars, but now his friends call him the Blackout Knight. Story 53. My ex swore he was going to be a famous travel vlogger. Only problem? He never actually traveled. Just filmed himself at local places and added stock footage of airplanes for effect. Once he went to an indoor rainforest exhibit and posted it as exploring the Amazon solo. I was done after he called our weekend at a roadside motel a glamping retreat in Tuscany. After we broke up, he finally saved enough to take a trip to Iceland. His big moment. He went live on Instagram at a famous waterfall, shirtless, trying to do a primal energy monologue. Halfway through, he slipped on wet rocks and fell directly into a shallow pool. Phone, still recording, screamed, "I'm okay," while trying to look graceful climbing out. The clip went viral not for the fall, but for the moment right after, when a tourist off-camera asked, was he filming a shampoo commercial? He still calls it his most authentic content to date. Sure, man.